Michael Weiss leading the way at the Sears Figure Skating Open. Kurt Browning is second. Stephen Cousins is in third. Then Brian Orser and Jeff Langdon. Here's the order of skates, starting with Brian Orser, the 8-time Canadian champion. And then finishing up with Stephen Cousins. Once again, happy to have in our broadcast booth Elvis Stojko, who joined us this afternoon. Also the most talked about groin in all of Canada. He's healthy. You're skating. You're back at it. You get to come up here tonight and get a look at some of the guys you've skated with in the past in one of the greatest rivalries in Canadian history with Kurt Browning.
Yeah, it's been great to come up here and commentate and share it on this side of the fence, so to speak, and it's been wonderful. And right here is my hero. And so once again, coming out, Brian.
You'd love to be out here, though. I know you.
The juices were flowing this afternoon. We saw that.
This guy's won everything there is to win. A world championship, 2-time Olympic silver medalist like Elvis Stojko, 8-time Canadian champion, Hall of Famer, Emmy Award winner. And he's captured hearts all around the world. Brian Orser.
Out here. Awesome.
There has been so much talk about his personal life lately. For him, the ice is probably therapy at times. And when he is on ice, quite simply one of the best.
He skated that number with his heart on his sleeve.
Brian Orser at the 98 Sears Figure Skating Open.
So awesome.
90. The men's interpretive free skate in Kitchener tonight.
Are they going to show your style? Yeah, here.
And here's the wonderful triple sow cow.
Hey, oh, perfect
He is
timing.
skating with more intensity and more emotion than I have ever seen him skate
He
with.
just held it forever.
And here's a setup with
Oh.
the double
I got in
axle.
trouble right on the landing of
into
the
the
double
triple
axle.
Yeah,
toe.
he came around too far.
A little
Beautiful
bit.
double axle.
And I got over on my edge. See that?
He got a little bit
Then I
stuck
thought, well, I
here
can still crank
into a
it.
double toe,
And I cranked it
but
too
still
hard.
finished off right there.
We touched upon it
This
this
year,
afternoon, and what emotion for Brian Orser. When you met him, he's a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him when I was 12 years old for the first time, and that was quite exciting. And every time watching him, it was always magic. And tonight was one of those moments, and it's, you know, he's gone through a really tough time, and this is beautiful to see.
He has been a role model for so many Canadians, young Canadians like you, Elvis, and he always will be.
Look, good.
Look at these marks. These are awesome marks.
5.6, 5.7,
Gee, this is almost like a decade ago when he was winning world championships.
This format really favors the pros. They know how to work the music.
5.7,
He just may be able to improve on the fourth place standing. Thank you to the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, Jeff Langdon.
Another skater under the tutelage of Doug Lee, a training mate of Elvis Stoico. Jeff Langdon has something to prove tonight.
Opening here with the triple sow cow. Into a triple toe loop, which he falls out of.
This guy's
never easy to sail into uncharted territory. This is brand new for Jeff Langdon in a professional competition for the first time.
And certainly he had his difficulties with the jumps, but what I was impressed with was he didn't let the performance go. He kept the performance level up, and this is always taking such risks. And here's a chance to focus more on the choreography and the steps and the music. He struggles to hang on to that double axel, just wasn't quite on top of the jumps.
A lot of talk about Jeff and his injury problems and the struggles early in the season. He's getting ready for nationals, but Canadian men, including yourself, I suppose, should thank Jeff Langdon for what he did at the World Championships, because for a while it looked like we would only send one man, which I would think would probably be you, Elvis Stojko, to the Worlds in Helsinki. But because of what Jeff did, we now send two men.
Which is great, and that takes a little bit of the pressure off at nationals, and you know, we get the exposure out that we need, like a Jeff or an Emmanuel, and we have those spots there, which is great.
The mark be a battle, though, won't it, in Ottawa? Wow.
5.4, 5.3.
Pretty good marks for skating techniques.
5.3, 5.3.
Good learning experience for Jeff Langdon.
5.1. The marks for presentation, 5.5.
He's been in a lot of competitions in the past, but nothing like this.
5.6, 5.4.
Second behind Brian Orser. Much more to come from the 98 Sears Figure Skating Open, including Kurt Browning. Here is the leader of the short program. He outskated Kurt. That is his wife. But I would say the advantage this time, tonight, is with Mr. Browning.
And Mr. Cousins. Wait till you see his number.
Here's Michael Weiss.
Skating to a familiar tune to me, When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge.
the eligible skaters in the field. Definitely has some showman in him, too. The
And
consummate showman is next, though.
he could not have skated that program any better.
Kurt Browning. His clown act from Kitchener's Net.
Joining us, Elvis, what did you think of your competitor on the world ranks, Michael Weiss?
Great program. The setup, I think he thought about going for the quad, opted for the triple flip, and I think that was a good choice in this type of atmosphere with an interpretive program. You don't want to mar the program by missing a jump. You want to keep the flow, and you know, like here, he did beautiful triple axel, which I think helped the program, you know, enhance it. But
Marks for skating technique.
we'll have to see what the marks say.
5.8, 5.7.
Big marks for skating techniques. If you were skating in this thing, would you quad?
5.7.
I don't know. I think I'd use it as an advantage on a high point in the music, just to be different. But, you know, I wouldn't want to mar the program.
5.8.
Weiss is the leader, just barely, though. Brian Orser very close behind. And on ice.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, Kurt Browning.
He says his secret weapon is Sandra Bezic, who always gives him the tools. She's the one that came up with this idea, which I think perfectly suits him.
the absolute sheer brilliance.
It just doesn't stop.
Well, your hero was Brian Orser. Kurtz was Scott Hamilton. And a lot of Scott Hamilton in that performance. Kurt Browning in Kitchener. Even though it's a humorous comedic routine, is the difficulty involved in so many of these steps.
It's incredible because all of the jumps that he's done is out of a step sequence, and there's no preparation. And right here's a classic example. Double axel out of nowhere.
And every one of those jumps hit the perfect note in the music. They all enhanced the music perfectly. That was great. But I loved the ending. I thought the ending was unbelievable. How risky. Like, he could have ended up on a judge's lap. I mean...
You know, these ISU judges don't know what they got themselves into.
Look at that. I mean, he could have landed on that computer right there. It brought down the scores. Yeah. He keyed into those own marks, maybe. I think we all know what the marks are going to be.
This is what the interpretive free skate is all about. You can use costume, you can use different moves, and humor.
Whoa.
5.8.
What can you say?
5.9.
He's a genius. He is a skating genius.
How would you like to be Michael Weiss? A 6.02, four of them.
That was awesome.
I was going to say, how would you like to be Stephen Cousins, who skates next, and Michael Weiss, and have to go home tonight and say you got beaten by a clown?
Thank you so much. That was so much fun.
But, you know, Stephen Cousins' routine is also going to bring down the house. Like Kurt, he is a born performer. He is a born showman.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Great Britain, Stephen Cousins.
What a great way to end a very entertaining day in Kitchener. A long day, a long night. Stephen Cousins has a chance to win it all. Kurt Browning first, Michael Weiss second.
Skating to the soundtrack, Hawks. Watch this move right here. This is great. And that was an aerobic experience.
And the Brit with some soccer moves. These people in Kitchener are going to have to go home and put their hands in an ice bucket tonight. They have been clapping all day long.
He definitely knows how to work the music.
What a finale. A fabulous day in Kitchener.
I think he has felt throughout his amateur career that he was not always appreciated by the judges, but he has found his niche. This format, this interpretive free program, this suits him perfectly.
It's all having fun.
And the jumps here were wonderful. Even in betweens were great, and he was relaxed, and that's what was able for him to get out the jumps, which was super.
What do you call this thing?
I love that.
The Cousins flop.
Look all right. Oh, it's great.
I remember very, very early on in his career, this is what he was like. He performed every time he stepped on the ice. He had to pull himself back because he was required to land the technical element. So he lost a little bit of that performance aspect, but he has now been freed again.
The marks
It was almost true. He had to land that triple axel early in his program, and then he was off to the races. And if he didn't, he wasn't.
5.6.
It'll be interesting to see where they place him.
5.7.
And those marks,
And look,
skating technique.
5.5.
like the judges didn't appreciate his performance as much as we did.
Presentation marks aren't as much as he had hoped either. He gets a fourth place, Stephen Cousins. He started the night in third. Brian Orser finishes third. Michael Weiss is second. Kurt Browning does it again. Another win in Canada. He has owned this event.
This concludes
A little clowning around
In just a moment, we'll have the award.
in the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium Complex. $40,000 for Kurt. Earlier in the day, he was in second. Tonight, he's the king again. We'll speak to him after this. 4 years in a row winning this event. Of course, it's open this year, and he beats Michael Weiss coming from behind in the interpretive free skate tonight in Kitchener. Let's go downstairs to Rob Faulds.
Well, he said the spontaneity was gone, and he's being spontaneous right now. Tell me about this program. Is this a germ of an idea that you had? It's not one of those things you can't find the music for, can you? And then to develop a program after?
It worked this way. Stars and Ice is doing a clown number this year, and so Michael Siebert and Sandra Bezic are the choreographers for Stars and Ice. So they're always looking for music for the show, and Michael Siebert found this piece of music and thought it might be good for me when I do Stars and Ice. So Sandra and I put it together, and that's how it happened.
Did you expect the kind of reaction you got from the crowd?
Well, the real test will be when I'm not in Canada, and if people laugh in the United States and in Europe, then that will be the real test. They're very forgiving here, and they love the Canadian skaters with all their hearts, as they've shown so much support here in Kitchener. And so I was nervous, really nervous, but the character's so much fun, and no rules, you know.
You've owned this competition. Congratulations.
Oh, it's been fun. Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Barb Underhill, first to you. Before this event, I think everybody came in with wide eyes open, wondering what the Open future would be like. I think it's got a pretty good future.
Well, there's been so much confusion about the rules, about how it was going to work. Everybody was very curious how it would come across. But I think everybody looks upon this as a very positive step, especially for professional skating. And I think they're going to tweak it here and there, and it's hopefully potentially going to be something very good for the sport.
Let's go over to our guest analyst. We'll see you in one of these events, I'm sure, soon. Is this the future of skating, Pro-Ams?
I think so, because we have the mainstream amateur, you got the mainstream pro, and then you have the chance to combine them. And that gives the best of both worlds. And the only thing tonight is I wanted to be out there.
Well, you get better. We'll see you at the Nationals. What a day in Kitchener for everybody here. Good night, everyone, from the Sears Figure Skating Open.